Secrets to make your long distance relationship last. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to make your long distance relationship amazing. It's Sabrina, your personal love advisor from A New Mode, the channel where we show you how love actually works. Okay, so relationships are hard enough, but it really just makes things harder when you add distance into the equation. That just makes any challenge you'll face as a couple that much harder. You're also just not getting most of the benefits of being a couple, being in a relationship, because you don't have each other's presence. You're missing out on that physical connection. You're missing out on being together and doing things together. And that just makes things much harder. So I am gonna give you some amazing tips to keep the spark alive and to really make your relationship last until hopefully you guys can be in the same place. So make sure you watch this video all the way until the end. Real quick, if you like this video and find it helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment with any questions, any feedback. I love hearing from you guys. Okay, so I have a confession. I'm doing this video because it's been highly requested from you guys, but I am not such a fan of long distance relationships. I kind of think that they're a terrible idea. I really think that if you can avoid it, you should avoid it at all costs. Sometimes it can't be avoided. Maybe it's because we're in a lockdown. Maybe it's because, you're younger and you and your high school boyfriend are going to separate colleges, or maybe you're in college and you and your boyfriend are going to separate grad schools. Maybe he's in the military, he's deployed. Sometimes things can't be helped. But in general, I think that if you can avoid it, you should avoid it. Because here are a few of my grievances with long distance relationships. Don't worry, I'm not just gonna complain about long distance relationships. I will give you some really good tips, but it's important to be practical here. Number one, I think that they cause a relationship to just go on for way longer than it would have had you guys been in the same place. They cause a relationship to just stagnate because you're not together. You're not moving things forward. You're just kind of in the same spot. So I think that's a problem. And then, eventually you do end up in the same place and you realize, oh, we're completely incompatible. We're a terrible couple. We're a terrible match. And we've just wasted years and years of our life on this dead end relationship. I also noticed that a lot of women tend to do all the work in these relationships. She's the one putting all the effort and she's investing so much of herself and so much of her time into this relationship. And he's just being very passively reciprocative. It's not a word, but I kind of like it as a word, about the whole thing. So she's giving and giving and investing, and he's not really giving anything back. And she makes excuses for it and says, well, it's just because of the distance and it's just because this is going on. And once all that's over, then everything will be great. But really, he's clearly showing he's not serious about her and not that interested. And she's just using the distance as an excuse for his behavior. So she's continuing to invest herself in this relationship that isn't going to work out and wouldn't have worked out if they were in the same place, because she probably would have seen it more clearly. Also, long distance relationships are really hard for guys. I mean, they're obviously hard for girls too, but guys really do connect physically. And when you're not there physically, that's difficult for him. That's hard for him to feel as connected to you. Another thing is that it kind of is this false sense of reality with the long distance relationship. It's almost not like a real relationship, because what you have is you guys are apart and you're looking forward to when you can see each other, and you're looking forward and you're building up. And then when you see each other, you're both on perfect behavior, because you're like, okay, we need to enjoy this time. All we have is this weekend, so we need to make every minute count, and we're not gonna fight, we're not gonna bring up grievances, and we're just gonna be on our perfect behavior. And then you depart, and then it's, I can't wait to see you, and it's like the whole cycle continues. That's not reality. It's not a real relationship. People aren't on their best behaviors at all times. You're not trying to maximize every minute of your time with a person who, is just there, who lives in your city or in the same house as you or whatever it is, because you just have access to them all the time. So that's not something that's necessary, but in a long distance relationship, that is something that happens. So again, it prevents you from seeing what you actually have with this person, what's actually there. So I just want to make you aware of some of the pitfalls with long distance relationships. But okay, we'll switch it over to the positive side, because I don't want to just be a hater. Yes, long distance can be the absolute death of a relationship, but it can also really strengthen your relationship and make you guys even closer than ever. So I'm going to talk about some tips to help you do that. Number one, and this is the most important tip of all, make sure he's worth it. Make sure that you have a teammate in this, not that you're doing all the work here. Make sure that he's also prioritizing you. Both of you need to be fully in this. Both of you need to be fully committed to making this relationship work, because you have a big hurdle to overcome here. You can't be the one who's doing all the work and just dragging him along. So really look at him and decide, is he worth it? Is he really worth going through all that you'll have to go through, all the expenses of being in a long distance relationship, and all the travel and the flying and the coordinating and taking time off from work to be with him? Is he worth it? Can you really not find anyone like him in your city, in your state, in your country, whatever it is that causes you to look elsewhere? Is he really a rare gem of a guy? Is he worth it? Is he worth all of this? Ask yourself that. Or are you just with him because there's no one else? Because you don't think you'll be able to find anyone else? Because this is better than nothing. Why are you really with him? Because let me be honest with you guys. The questions I get from a lot of you in long distance relationships, you're in terrible relationships. You're just trying to force things to work because why? Because you've already expended all this effort and all this energy and you want it to mean something? Really look at the relationship you have here. Look at the guy you're with. Is he good to you? Is he good for you? And is he also trying to make this work? Don't make excuses for him. Everyone has a lot going on. We're all stressed. Everyone has their something. That's no excuse for him not putting any effort or energy into the relationship. If you're doing all the work here and if he's just not nice to you, not appreciative, if he just disappears for days at a time, you have no idea where he is, then is this really someone you want to be in a relationship with, especially a long distance relationship where that just makes things even more complicated? Be honest with yourself. We don't even think we need the rest of the video. We could literally just cut it here, but I will keep going. But that is the most important point of all. So really, really consider what I said. Number 2, have an end date. You will never feel satisfied and happy and at ease in this relationship if it just goes on indefinitely. There needs to be a point in time that you guys both discuss and agree upon when this will end, when somebody will move so that you are together. The long distance relationship isn't the end game here. It needs to be a means to an end. So there has to be an actual end. You have to be moving towards something. Is it once he graduates? Is it when he finds another job? You need to have these discussions. Don't be afraid to bring it up because you're scared of rocking the boat. You're scared of scaring him away. If that's how you feel, then this is definitely not the guy for you. Because if you're in a long distance relationship, you need to be able to be completely transparent and honest with your needs and your expectations in the relationship. So you and him need to discuss, what is our plan here? How are we gonna get there? How are we gonna bridge this gap and get to the same place? It's really important to have clear expectations so that you are both on the same page and that you don't end up blindsided. When he says, no, I just like things the way they are. Yeah, let's just keep this relationship at a distance and never move closer. Because that happens. You don't want that to happen to you. You want to know that you're on the same page as someone. It's also important to have expectations in terms of how often do we want to see each other? How are we going to make this happen? Maybe, 1 month I go to you, the next you come to me, another time we meet in the middle. What are the expectations here? Because there needs to be effort made on both sides so that you are seeing each other somewhat consistently as you possibly can, and you are both working towards this end goal, the end goal being you guys in the same place. Number 3, enjoy your life. Enjoy your life outside of the relationship. It's really easy to lose ourselves in a relationship, especially when it's a long distance relationship, because you feel like you have to work so much harder. So instead of going out, you're just home on Skype talking to him, and you're just missing out on all these other things because you feel like you need to put all your energy and effort into this relationship. And yes, you do need to put some extra energy into a long distance relationship because of the circumstances, but in any relationship, long distance or not, it is so important to continue to maintain your own life, to go out, to have fun, to pursue your passions, to pursue your goals, to really work on yourself. It's really important to do that because a long distance relationship can get stressful. It can also rouse feelings of jealousy, especially because you don't know where he is at all times. You don't know what he's up to. I mean, that's true in regular relationships as well. You can't possibly keep tabs on someone at all times. So it's really important to fill yourself up in other areas so that you're not constantly worried that he's just gonna lose interest and leave you, or so you're not feeding into that needy mentality, that needy mindset where you just need constant validation from him, because that's exhausting and that's draining, and that is really gonna have a negative impact on your relationship. Number 4, think of creative ways to stay in touch. It's really important to touch base at least once or 2 times a day. It's funny because a lot of you are in these long distance relationships where the guys will just shut off his phone for a week and then all of a sudden he'll reemerge. That's no good. That is not someone we want to be in a long distance relationship with, or any kind of relationship with. You need to have consistent communication. And I think a way to make things more exciting and fun is just think of new ways to communicate. Maybe you write him a handwritten letter. That's so sweet. That's super romantic. Or maybe one day you just take pictures of yourself throughout the day and pretend like he's with you, a day in the life. Or maybe you send him little videos of yourself throughout the day. Maybe you shoot him an email. Maybe you send him gifts, or have something sent to his doorstep, or send him dinner waiting for by the door when he comes home. Whatever it is, Think of things that are creative and meaningful and things that will really make him smile. Take it beyond just texting and the phone and Skype. Try to see what you can come up with. Another point I want to make here is don't over-communicate. Don't have your phone glued to you constantly, feeling like you need to constantly be talking to him because you guys are long distance, so you need to stay constantly in touch. That's not something that you would do if your boyfriend wasn't long distance, if you guys were in the same city, and that's just draining and exhausting. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. So make sure when you connect, it is quality connection. You really are clearing out everything else that's going on and making the time to just focus on the other person and connect to them. Number 5, look at the relationship in a positive light. Perspective is everything. Perspective is the difference between being happy and being miserable. If you take on the perspective that, oh, this is so awful, this is so hard, this is so terrible, I wish that like we were just in the same city or we were living in the same house, then you're gonna feel very angry and resentful of this relationship. It's much healthier instead to look at it like, okay, this is challenging, but this is gonna make our relationship grow. This is what's gonna make our bond even stronger. And this, we're gonna come out even better for this, for being able to get through this challenging time. Because the fact is, the people that I know who have made long distance relationships work and ended up in the same place and moving in together or getting married, they have very strong relationships. So when you can make it work, it really will strengthen you as a couple. It's just important to, again, look at the whole picture. Look at the person that you're with and what he's putting into the relationship. And you should share that with him, that perspective, that let's look at this in the positive. Let's look at all the new ways that we're connecting and how that's making us even stronger as a couple and how that will make our relationship even better in the end. So just try not to focus on all the things you can't have because of the distance and instead focus on all the ways that you can strengthen. Number 6, lighten his load. Don't add to it. If you are a regular reader of A New Mode or you watch my videos, you know that one thing I say a lot is that men move towards what feels good. And men have a very low bandwidth for emotionally intense and overwhelming situations. We all have a lot weighing us down. We all have a lot of daily stresses and burdens to deal with. The best thing that you can do is to be a safe haven for him, a place where he doesn't feel burdened or weighed down, where he just feels like he can be himself and he can be open and he can be honest, and with you really see him as the man he wants to be and support him in that. That is the greatest feeling to a man. And if you have that, you will be irreplaceable in his eyes. And he should be that for you as well. You also want to feel like he is my safe space. I don't feel stressed and overwhelmed when I'm talking to him. He is my escape from all of that all the things that are burdening me and bringing me down on a daily basis. It's important to really make an effort to connect and to understand each other and to be that support system for one another, especially in this relationship, because it does come with added challenges. So those are my tips for making your long distance relationship amazing. Remember, it's so much about perspective. It's really about bringing your best to the table and also making sure that you are investing in the right person, because all the tips in the world are not going to save you if you aren't investing in someone who can't or won't meet you in the middle or meet you anywhere. You're here and he's all the way over there. That is just a waste of time. That's a dead end. And you need to recognize that and accept that. If you and him can work together and really be partners in this, partners in tackling the long distance issue, then you really stand a chance and you really can have an amazing relationship. And hopefully soon enough, you'll be in the same place and get to enjoy the benefits of an in-person relationship and no more long distance relationship. Let me know what you think of these tips. If there's anything I missed, anything you want to add, if you're in a long distance relationship and there are certain things that have been super helpful to you, please share them in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel. For more relationship advice, check out anewmode.com. Follow me on Instagram @anewmode, and I will see you guys in the next video.